My focus is taking offshore wind global, working with GWEC on that theme, also with the World Bank Group, and joining those together, bringing an opportunity for developing countries to start to embrace offshore wind. Nothing better than to bring them to the UK as the leading market, and the delegates are saying they had no appreciation of the reality of offshore wind and are inspired to take it home to their countries and just plant the seeds of creating the same effect into their economy.
Coming to North East England is something that was selected by the Global Wind Energy Council. And to be honest with you, before coming here, I wasn't exactly sure where we were coming, apart from knowing that this is where offshore wind happens. Now, what I can say at the end of this visit is I'm delighted we've been here. And the reason is that we saw what is possible. We saw this amazing industry that is happening. We saw all the development and the studies and the research that is happening in North East England. And it's been fascinating. I think it's a wonderful place to learn a lot about offshore wind.
North East England is an exemplar for the offshore wind industry because we've spent many years working in heavy engineering, in shipbuilding, in offshore oil and gas. We've now taken that expertise into offshore wind, and with that has come a lot of economic benefit. The supply chain are benefiting, local industry, we have lots of inward investment coming into the region, so we can see the benefits which are coming through now. The delegation have come to North East England because they see this region as world leading when it comes to offshore wind clusters. They've been to London for a couple of days, they've heard about what's happening from a policy perspective, they've come to the northeast of England, they've seen offshore wind in action. That has made a real difference to how they think they can take that experience back to their own countries and develop an offshore wind industry.
This visit has been very interesting in the sense that we've all read about a lot of reports about the offshore wind and how the industry has been growing, but to actually see it, meet all these companies, they've been very welcoming and they've shared so much with us. So I think it's been a great learning experience that we've all really enjoyed.
I'm so impressed with everything I've seen for last 2 days. The thing I'm more impressed is the way people feel proud of what they have done, how they see they're very optimistic about their work, and how they have very clear visions of what they can be active in next 5 or 10 years. We're glad that I've been here and learned a lot. I also wondering how Vietnam can learn from UK's. If any chance that in UK, Vietnam, we can work together to bring the technology, experience and knowledge from UK, and we work together to benefit the two countries.
My impression about Northern East England, the people are warm, friendly, the hospitality is excellent, the food is nice. What struck me most was the development in the offshore wind industry, how the economic spin-off from the growth of the supply chain. I'm really very much impressed. There is a whole lot of things that we can learn from you guys.
It really opened my eyes because it's a great opportunity not only for Costa Rican needs for electricity, but also we are getting in a new decarbonization program. So for us, it's very important to get in the possibility to research in new sources of energy between the offshore wind. So we need to prepare the new roadmap for the Costa Rican energy portfolio.
This last 2 days experience has been an eye-opener. From Indian perspective, what we're looking at is very large capacity additions in the renewable sector, including offshore. We're hugely impressed with the way the Northeast has progressed over the last few years in offshore sector.
It's a wonderful experience. We thought Northeast England is much freer and more dynamic, and we had a very good time looking at the enterprise and the amount of diligence that has been done, especially in the offshore wind sector and other industrial activities. It will be great if you can come again.
I was so surprised by seeing the facilities and how the North England developed the wind facilities and the offshore facilities, port facilities, and everything is really fantastic. And Sri Lanka also, we are thinking to go ahead with the offshore wind in near future so that we can utilize these facilities very much because it's well developed.
What I saw during this week is something very, very interesting for me. I found like another kind of way of doing business, a conjunction between the private sector and public sector working together in order to develop a new industry. That is something very interesting. It's not so common in my country, so I am taking to my country a lot of experiences and a good practice of business.
So I think what the delegates must have taken away, which is very significant, I think they all have an idea about offshore wind. They read the notes, we see the pictures, we can see things on YouTube. But actually seeing firsthand the scale of what is happening here, what it means for economic development, what it means for jobs, and the potential it has to change the energy mix is incredible. And I'm sure that this is what they will be taking back in terms of that this is a technology that is happening today. It can benefit economically developing their own countries. And I think the other thing obviously that they will take back is the knowledge, the capacities that you already have developed here in Northeast England, and everything that is underway and to come must have been very valuable for them to see what is happening and what is to come.
One of the things we wanted to do early on was to have an event like this, and we want to also repeat these kinds of events.
This has been in our thoughts for quite a while. Offshore wind is growing fast. Just the response to it has been amazing. There's been a real interest from the countries themselves, from the industry. Coming up here in Northeast England has been amazing. Our job is to try to figure out how to help them, accelerate that.
Some of the countries here do already have some plans on offshore wind, but quite a few don't and are just even starting to think about it or hadn't really thought about it a huge amount yet. One of the things we wanted to do with this event was to encourage people to think maybe what next step do we need to take. Maybe it's with our assistants, maybe not, to really think through what are the big issues, what are the kinds of things we need to take back to our politicians to put this on their radar, and also some of the technical studies that might be needed.